As your United States Senator, I'm blessed with the opportunity to travel all over our great state. Everywhere I go, I meet hardworking Texans dedicated to their vocations and their communities. John Now is one of those people, and I'm proud to call him my friend. It's truly an honor to introduce him as the newest member of the Texas Business Hall of Fame. Through his hard work and keen judgment, John has grown Silver Eagle Distributors into one of the largest beer distributors in the United States. John's combined his business acumen with his love of history and shared it with the state of Texas, serving as the chairman of the Texas Historical Commission. The Texas Business Hall of Fame boasts an impressive roster of men and women who've shown a commitment to entrepreneurialism and philanthropy. They will find good company in John. Please join me in welcoming John Now into the 2012 class of the Texas Business Hall of Fame.
It's 7 a.m. in Houston, and the symphony that is Silver Eagle Distributing is in full swing. The company's 1,200 employees work in perfect pitch to make sure that the #1 Anheuser-Busch distributorship in the nation is getting its product on the shelves and making John Now smile.
We'll sell about 46 million total cases of beer products. We handle all the Anheuser-Busch beers, Corona, Modelo Especial, and over the last couple of years, the literal explosion of craft beers and small imports have created a dynamic in the Texas beer market.
John Now started with Coca-Cola in the 1970s, and one day he was called into the boss's office in Chicago for a challenge.
And he looks at me and says, well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you're going to be the youngest district manager for Coca-Cola. The bad news is you're going to Des Moines, Iowa. If you know a product like Coca-Cola is #1 in the world, and you go to a market in Iowa where it's outsold by Dr. Pepper and 7-Up, let alone Pepsi, you learn very quickly that it's not the product's fault. And it needs a change in approach. It needs a change in marketing, and it needs to have the employees buy in and become enthusiastic.
His marketing experience paid off, and by the time a small distributorship in Florida opened up, Now and his wife Bobby knew they were ready to take a chance. The move to Houston would be the start of something big. Silver Eagle Distributors Now purchased Southwest Distribution in 1987 and never looked back. The company would grow in the Houston market and then move into San Antonio and 16 counties in South Texas. Now had found the perfect business to match his skills. And even the economy cooperates with John Now.
First of all, that I ever think that we would become the largest distributor in the U.S., I don't think that far in advance. My whole focus was on paying the debt load. Remember, this was right in the middle of the oil bust back in the 80s. So people saw it as depressed. I saw it a little bit differently. This Southwest Distributing was run as a classic beer distributor without any marketing. So we brought marketing into it and began to motivate the people.
When you look at the conversion from bottling to marketing to really what makes our company so great, #1, you have to have the right kind of person. You have to have a leader. You have to have somebody that's going to create a culture that is going to focus on the elements that are important for Anheuser-Busch as well as them to grow sales and share in the marketplace. He provides that leadership.
Those beers that are shipped from Silver Eagle comprise an astonishing 68% share of the market in Houston and 61% in South Texas. Now knows that Silver Eagle's strength lies with its people, and he makes sure that they are the best in the business. Management lessons to his employees come from his respect of military history. And employees at Silver Eagle should not be surprised if they turn up in Gettysburg or Antietam on a field trip.
Well, the first reaction is that they know they've got to stuff their pockets with sandwiches and granola bars because we're not stopping for lunch. I try to engage a professor or a scholar or an author in the Civil War that's able to talk. It's not just about what happened here and how many people were shot and all of that. It's about decision making, crisis decision making.
His love of history has developed into one of the most respected private collections of Texana and Civil War history in the world. He served as chairman of the Texas Historical Commission for 16 years and took his marketing skills to the state.
I mean, the history of Texas is like the history of no other state. So you know you're starting with really good material. I equate this to beer. We've got the best beers in the world. Texas has the best history of any state. The obligation of the state is to steward the assets, whether they're state parks or the assets in the archives, but they are assets. They're not just old stuff. And hopefully during my tenure, we were able to put a business principle into this.
First of all, I don't think he sleeps. But next of all, John's got a great group of people he works with at the company, which allows him to pursue these numerous other pursuits that he has. With regard to his love of history, one of my favorite things that he was involved in was the restoration of county seat courthouses throughout the state of Texas. And I can't go to any town in my travels where I don't see a courthouse, these beautiful courthouses that have been renovated. And I get a smile on my face because I know in some way, shape, or form John was involved in the restoration of these treasures of our local communities.
Today, John now is working just as hard as when he was driving Coke trucks throughout the Midwest, and he's loving every minute of it.
Well, we'll get about 81% of all legal adults will have at least one beer in a month. The good news is there's a whole bunch of them that have more than one beer in a month. So I just say to everybody here, this bud's for you.
Raise your glass with us tonight to toast John Now III as the newest member of the Texas Business Hall of Fame.